What's up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and welcome back to Ocarina Time. Last time, we went around Castletown to see what it had to offer, which kind of boiled down to just a shooting gallery and a lost dog, which is a lot sadder when you think about it that way. But this time, we're going to be going around Kakariko Village and hoping that it has slightly more to offer. But to start off, I actually want to head up here to this house because we were told that Impa used to live here, so I actually want to talk to this guard. This used to be the Great Impa's house, but she doesn't live here any longer. It is now open to all villagers. You are free to go in. This village used to be a Sheikah village, but the Great Impa opened it to everyone. Alright, then I think we will go inside. And inside of Impa's house, this is actually a very orange house. Like, it's drastically different shade than almost any other building we've been in. I guess it's because of this fire, but it just looks so different. But if we go over here, there's a heart piece. I need it. Give it to me. Yeah, we're not actually able to get this heart piece right now. As you can see, there's a hole in the back of that cage. And we're not able to get in there for quite a while, but I just wanted to show that there is one in here so we can keep it in mind. And actually, what do you have to say? Hey kid, do you always enter other people's houses without permission? We got permission! What are you talking about? The guard literally said any villager is allowed in here, or that any person is allowed in here. What are you even saying? Didn't your parents teach you any manners? Oh well. Did you see a lady behind this house? She's going through a hard time. Oh well. If the lady asks you about cuckoos, you should listen to her. Well, we'll have to keep that in mind too. But before we actually leave Impa's house, I want to head up here to show that if we go over here to this bed, there's actually a hidden red rupee up here, which I just noticed that I have 99 rupees and didn't need it, but I wanted to show it anyway. No, I don't want to talk to you. Let me go. And like that guy in Impa's house said, I actually want to go behind Impa's house to this lady by this fence that is very empty. And apparently we can actually climb on the fence. But what do you have to say? What should I do? My cuckoos have all flown away. You, little boy, please help me bring them back to this pen. All right. Well, the cuckoos she was talking about are actually these chickens. And if we run up on the chickens and hit A on them, we can actually pick them up and kind of just carry them around like we did the rocks back in the Kokiri forest. But what you can do with them is you can run around, you can throw them, and they're pretty much just living rocks. But the interesting thing about them is if we take out our sword and start attacking one, we can clip into its face, apparently. And show that the cuckoos are not the friendliest creatures around. This is called the Revenge Squad mechanic, and it is very specific to the cuckoos. If you attack any cuckoos, like 2 or 3 times, I think, they will call in their squad, and they will not leave you alone until you are dead. But you know what? I'm gonna take them. Get over here. I'll fight you to the death. Die, chicken! Oh, okay. Yeah, you can't actually cause them any damage, but I wanted to show this, 1, to show the game over screen, and 2, to actually show the cuckoos mechanic, because I think it's a pretty cool mechanic. But we are not going to save, and we are going to continue. And when you game over, you actually just go back to the last loading screen that you had, which is actually the main reason I wanted to go into Impa's house as well. But with that being said, let's go ahead and collect some cuckoos. And I actually want to talk about the cuckoos because they're interesting creatures. They were first introduced in A Link to the Past, so this is actually a mechanic in a 3D Legend of Zelda game that wasn't introduced in Ocarina of Time. I know, surprising. But the cuckoos are probably the most famous chicken in gaming, if I were to have to guess. With the only real, competition they would ever have being maybe the chicken from Minecraft. And even then, I think the cuckoos have a better design throughout most of the games than the Minecraft chicken has. The other things about the Kukos are, we saw the revenge squad mechanic already, but most of the time they are confined to villages or towns. As we can see here, all of the Kuko, this is literally all of the Kukos in the game, and they are in Kakariko Village. And throughout the games, it's actually more likely than not that you see them in the different iterations of Kakariko Village. But the next thing I want to go over is actually that the Kukos are pretty good for traversal. If we jump off of this building, you can see that we can float for a pretty long ways, and it gets us to this platform over here. And it's how we get this Kuko here as well. And it would be so cool if we could just like keep a Kuko as a traversal tool just to get to like farther platforms. But I guess it's not practical that we could just shove a chicken into our pocket. PETA might have something to say, but we are just going to collect these. And how many do we have? That looks like 4, I would have to say. And I believe we're looking for 7. And the next one is actually a hidden one. If we go over here to this box, we can actually, if I'm quiet, you can hear clucking. And if we roll into this box, no, don't climb the box, Link. Roll into it. There we go. There's a Kuko inside of it. I believe this is the only one that really like clucks very loudly, so you can actually figure out where it is. And this is also the only one that's like hidden inside of anything. So it's probably the hardest one to find out of all of them. But the next 2 are probably the most difficult to actually reach at this point, because I don't actually know how you're supposed to reach them, if I'm being honest. But the way I do it is I climb up this watchtower, and we're going to kind of break into the other half of Kakariko Village by coming up here, looking like it's going to be like a 30-degree turn from this angle, something like this. And then we're just going to hold L and not backflip. That's not what I wanted. All right, back up the tower. All right, what I actually wanted is to kind of look forward here and then side hop off of this tower. And this is probably going to take me a couple of tries to get. All right, finally, after about 8 attempts later, we finally have landed on this gate. And I want to be very careful not to fall off of this gate, because I want to get onto this house and talk to this guy. Hey, good to see you up here. I'll give you this as a memento. And by talking to this guy a lot earlier than we're supposed to, by the way, we can get our second piece of heart. But what we really need to do is actually jump down here, because the last 2 Kukos that we need are, the first one is right here, which I have no idea how to legitimately get back here, except for, like, a lot later into the game. But we just need to take that Kuko up there and throw it over the fence. And the other one is up this ladder. And there it is. It's right here. And I want to take this one and show that I read somewhere that we could actually get the piece of heart by the cow a lot sooner than we're supposed to by taking this Kuko and flying from here. But I just want to show, I don't exactly know how they expected you to fly so far. The Kuko didn't even make it halfway before we were below the platform. So I had no idea what they were talking about. The only other way I can think of is maybe by like going up here and maneuvering the Kuko so it's up on that platform and then flying across. But I just don't think it's worth even trying to do that. It's so much harder than actually just doing it the way you're supposed to later in the game. But with that, that is the last of the Kukos. Thank you for finding my Kukos. I have allergies, so I get goosebumps when I touch them. For helping me, I'll give this to you. Isn't it all sparkly and pretty? Please take good care of it. I don't know if I've ever called a glass bottle sparkly before, but we got an empty bottle after you put something in it, in the bottle. set it to 1, X, Y, or 2 when you want to use the item inside. And actually, what they don't tell you is you actually have to set it in order to put something into the glass bottle. And I want to run over here and go to this rock. Because if we lift this rock up, there's bugs inside of it that we can catch in our glass bottle. And I just wanted to make sure to get this glass bottle and these bugs because they will become helpful to us very soon. But with that, that is basically everything to do in the main part of Kakariko Village right now. So I think our next stop is going to be the Kakariko Village graveyard right up this way. And actually, there's a box back here, which actually, now that I think about it, can I use this box to jump high enough? No, I can't. So this also isn't the correct way to go. But you can break the box to get a rupee. All right. So starting off the graveyard, I actually want to read this sign. R.I.P. Here lies the souls of these who swore in fealty to the royal family of Hyrule. The Sheikah, guardians of the royal family, and founders of Kakariko. Watch over these spirits in their eternal slumber. Little kids can't go on the heart-pounding graveyard tour described on the sign. Since I can't do that, I'm just imitating Dape, the graveyard keeper. But with my cute face, I'm not heart-pounding at all, am I? You know, for such a depressing place, this kid's actually pretty funny. But this is what I wanted the bugs in a bottle for. We can actually take the bugs, and there are several spots like this on the ground. And if we put the bugs into the dirted, or the spot of dirt on the ground, it will spawn a gold Skulltula, which is the only one in the graveyard right now, actually. But the only other thing that we can do here right now is go up here and see the grave of the royal family, the royal family's tomb. But before actually dealing with any of that, I actually want to check these graves. Royal Composer Bros, Sharp the Elder, RIP. And this is a Poe. Poes are ghost-like entities in the Legend of Zelda series that actually change quite a bit between games. Poes will always tend to be ghosts, as they were the counterpart of Boos in the Mario series. And the main way of actually delineating them between other enemies is they will always carry a lamp throughout no matter what game they are in. But once we defeat them, they also release a spirit. Yeah, you killed me! Unbelievable! Oh, what? You're not one of Ganondorf's men, are you? Because of my role as a ghost, I had to act like that. I apologize. Now then, let me introduce myself. Ahem. I am one of the ghostly composer bros of Kakariko Village. All the people of the village were born to serve the royal family of Hyrule. We brothers will serve the royal family and were assigned to study the hereditary mystical power of the family. Though we never could figure out the power of the Triforce, we had almost completed our study of controlling time with the tomes of the Ocarina. Actually, we did complete that study. We would have been famous if that hateful Ganondorf had not tried to steal our results. We could never let him reap the fruits of our research. That's why we gave our lives to protect the secret. Do you want to hear what I said again? No, I do not. But I do want to see the younger brothers. Flat the Younger. That's not usually how you would write that, but sure. And once again, we have to fight Flat here. Poes are Flat and Sharp are unique Poes, but Poes tend to also be very easy to defeat. They will just kind of fight in a pattern. They will attack you by spinning at you after they become visible, and then they give you a chance to attack them, and then they become invisible after you attack them, and then you have to repeat. So it's pretty easy to actually fight them. But what does Flat have to say? Yeah, I'm dead again! Wait, Have we met before? Somehow you remind me of Princess Zelda? Hmm. Since you see, since you may have some connection to with the royal family, I will tell you a little more of our tale. Back then, people called us great composers because of the many musical masterpieces we wrote. But we brothers were not just composers. We had a mission to analyze the mysterious powers of Hyrule's royal family. Our names would be part of Hyrule's history if we could complete our research. We kept our studies extremely secret until we completed it. To tell the truth, each of us was studying a different song, one to summon the sun and another to summon the moon. If we were really if you were really sent by a member of the royal family, I will tell you about the results of our study. We inscribed it on the royal tombstone. As a messenger of the royal family, you should show your royal credentials on top of the Triforce mark. Do you want to hear what I said again? No, I do not. So, by defeating these two, we actually get a lot of good information, including the fact that the only way to get into the tome is by showing our credentials. So, that is one of two things. First off, we have this letter from Princess Zelda, which doesn't seem to do anything here because, Graves can't read. And the other is if we pull out our Ocarina, is Zelda's lullaby. I know that Zelda's lullaby connects us to the royal family and everything, but what about it makes lightning strike? That doesn't make any sense. It's a lullaby. Was every time that Impa put Zelda away or put Zelda to bed, did she make lightning strike every single time? Also, lightning doesn't strike any other time we play it. It's just then. But inside of the royal family tomb, we have new enemies. These are keys. When you get close to it, use L targeting. Even if it flies away, you can still target it. If these Wolchulas were not the easiest enemy in the game, these keys certainly are. Literally all you have to do is target them and pull out your fairy slingshot, and they will fall to any hit. It is almost embarrassing how easily they are taken out. But once we take out those 4 keys, we are allowed deeper into the royal tomb. And we get to meet what is possibly the creepiest enemies in any Legend of Zelda game. These are Redeads, which are basically just zombies. They are absolutely terrifying. They will, if you get too close to them, scream at you, and what the scream does is it will stun you for a short amount of time, and if you get too close to them, they will climb on your back and do damage to you. But all we have to do basically is run past them and get to the actual tomb. This poem is dedicated to the memory of the dearly departed members of the royal family. The rising sun will eventually set, a newborn's life will fade. From sun to moon, moon to sun, give peaceful rest to the living dead. This is an interesting poem, huh? Something else is inscribed on the tombstone. It's the secret melody of the composer brothers. Restless souls wonder where they don't belong. Bring them calm with the sun song. So, that melody of the sun song might actually sound familiar. We have actually heard it once before already. It was the first little bit of notes in the Hyrule Field theme. I just think it's interesting that they added they used the different songs in the game as either parts or full themes of the different areas as well. But weird how the sun song we used and it became very night. But that brings us to some more stuff we could do in the graveyard now that it's night. Specifically, this man. This man is so irritating. Hey, kid, don't mess around with the graves. I'm Dumpy, the gravekeeper. My face may be scary, but I'm not a bad guy. Let me give you an advertisement of my side business. Dumpy, the graveyard creeper's heart-pounding grave-digging tour. What's gonna come out? What's gonna come out? When I start digging, we'll find out. Do you want me to dig here? 10 rupees for one hole. Sure. So, Dompe's heart-pounding grave-digging tour is a mini-game that only appears at night in Kakariko Village's graveyard. And it is probably the most irritating and slow-moving mini game in this entire game. Basically, what we need to do is follow Dompe around, and whenever he gets on these dirt patches, we have to talk to him, and he will dig in the dirt patches and find different things. And I want to make this clear. He will always find something unless you mistime it. So you want to make sure you dig directly onto the spots. But Dompe has a chance to pull up a total of 5 different things. That being a 40% chance to pull up a green rupee, a 30% chance to bring up a blue rupee, a 20% chance to bring up a red rupee, a 10% chance to bring up a recovery heart, and then a 10% chance to bring up the big prize, which is actually what you are going for. There are also only specific numbers of each of the different items. So there are 8 green rupees that he can pull up, 4 blue rupees, 2 red rupees, 1 recovery heart, and only 1 of the big prizes. That means that the minigame will always last a maximum of 15 digs to get every item. That's because every time he digs up, if he were to dig up an item that no longer has any available, he will then dig up the next lower value. So if he was supposed to dig up a red rupee, he would dig up a blue. If he was supposed to dig up a blue, he'd dig up a green. And if he was supposed to dig up a green, he'd dig up the recovery heart. That also means that since it is a total of 15 times that he has to dig, it requires 150 rupees for those 15 digs at 10 rupees apiece. But since you are getting the rupees as you are playing the game, he also gives you a total of 68 rupees back, meaning that if you come in here with a full wallet of 99 rupees, you are guaranteed 11 pulls. Basically, no matter what he pulls up. And with those 11 pulls, you have a roughly 94% chance to getting the big prize without running out of rupees. So you have a really good chance of actually getting the prize here without running out of the money that you need to actually play the game. The biggest things I need to bring up is that leaving the area and coming back resets the odds. So don't leave the graveyard unless you either run out of money or you get the big prize. And the other thing is that if you get extremely unlucky and you run out of money and everything before getting the big prize, there is an item in the not so distant future that basically guarantees, well, not basically, it guarantees that you win this game no matter what. I just wanted to check to see if my luck was any good or to see if my luck is just as bad as I believe it is. But so far, we have dug a total of like 9 times, I want to say, and have gotten almost nothing for our efforts. We gotten a bunch of rupees. I don't even think we pulled up a red rupee yet. So I think what we are going to do is, if this is not the one that I am looking for, which is not, we are just going to speed up to, I'm just going to speed up until we get the big prize. There we go. We got it. It only took probably 13 or 14 digs, but the big prize is a piece of heart. Now have collected 3 pieces. With another piece, your life energy will be powered up. All right, now that we are done with Dompe's game, you can probably notice that some of the graves, or most of the graves, actually have these dirt patches behind them. And that is just because you can actually go behind each of the graves, grab hold of them, and pull them back. And there's actually a couple of graves here that have hidden places below them. But going down here, we have another Redead, which actually allows me to bring up another point. If we pull out the Ocarina, you might have noticed this staff button on the lower right-hand corner of the bottom screen. If we tap that, it actually brings up the songs that we have learned and shows how many songs we will learn. But on the screen, you can also just play the notes straight from that screen, making it very easy to remember what songs you're trying to play. And I wanted to play the Sun Song to show that the tomb of the royal family said that the Sun Song would cause rest to the dead that were not supposed to be there. And that meaning that the Redeads actually become frozen if you play the Sun Song in front of them, which is a very good tip to know for going on in the game. But now that we have taken out that Redead, there's not actually many hints of what we're supposed to do in this tomb. But what we're actually supposed to do is, once again, pull out our Ocarina, because the Ocarina is always the correct solution, and play the Sun Song again. I don't know how they expect you to know to do this other than trial and error, but if you play the Sun Song, you get to live your dreams of becoming the Kokiri Sword and living in a chest. No, we get to summon a chest, and inside of this chest is another piece of heart, giving us our 4th piece of heart, allowing us to have another heart container, giving us 5 hearts. Yeah, it took us 4 episodes to get 1 piece of heart, and then it took us 2 to get 3 more. Or it took us another 1 to get a full heart container. So I guess it evens out to 1 an episode, even though that's definitely not how math works. But the other hidden grave is actually this front one. As you can see, it is the only grave that has flowers by it. So if we go behind it and pull this one back, we will see that there is another hole that we can jump into. And this one is a lot more straightforward than the other one. It literally just has a bombable wall, so we'll have to be back for that. But it also just has this treasure chest here. And this treasure chest is the whole reason I said to not buy the Hylian shield, because it is so easy to get one here by just knowing that this grave can be pulled back. But what I do want to show is that if we equip the Hylian shield, we can activate turtle mode. Yeah, the Hylian shield is too big for Link, so he kind of just wears it on his back and becomes turtle, and it's so funny. He's just Turtle mode, activate! Now I am perfect defense. But with the Hylian shield, that is everything that we can do in the Kakariko graveyard. So all we have left is to head back to Kakariko. And since we played the Sun Song and it was nighttime in the graveyard, which I guess I should also mention that time does not move in Kakariko Village, but it does move in the graveyard. And while it is nighttime in Kakariko, we can actually go around and collect a few gold Skulltulas that are now out, since gold Skulltulas tend to only come out during the night. So the first one is up here. I recommend shooting it before climbing up here, or it will knock you off. The second one is actually over here on the side of this house, which we can just cut. The third one in Kakariko is actually in this tree, if we roll into it. The fourth one is all the way up near this gate. If we turn around, it's on this wall. And the fifth and final gold Skulltula in Kakariko Village is all the way up there. Yeah, you have to shoot this one in order to get it. And then you also have to climb up the very slow ladder. Don't worry, Token, we're coming. And that should bring our total, if I go to gear, up to 11 gold Skulltula tokens, which is very nice. And it also brings us to our last topic of Kakariko Village, which is this house right here that was, that is next to where the one Kuko was. And if we go inside, welcome to the House of the Skulltulas. And also, if you are afraid of spiders, I'm giving you a jump scare warning right now. Say hello to one of the creepiest things in the game. We look like this because of the spider's curse, but since you have destroyed 11 spiders of the curse is starting to weaken. Did the kid who returned to normal give you any rewards? You should know that the only way to become very rich is to destroy as many spiders of the curse as possible. There are some tricks to finding them. First of all, you have to hunt at night. Secondly, keep in mind that they love soft soil. Pay close attention to your surroundings. Please, we're counting on you. And as he said, since we have destroyed 11, actually you only need 10 for this, there is one that has become not a spider. So if we talk to him, the curse has been broken. Thank you. Here's your reward. You got the adult wallet. Adults are allowed to carry a lot more money. Now you can hold up to 200 rupees. And this is the item I was talking about that makes Dampe's heart-pounding graveyard tour a lot easier. Actually guaranteed, because 200 is more than 150. And also, not so distant future, same episode. But with that, that's basically everything there is to do in Kakariko Village. So we just need to head up and get ready to head out towards Death Mountain. And to do so, we just need to roll up here and talk to this guard. The road is closed beyond this point. Can't you read the sign over there? Eh? Oh, I see. You're just a kid. You can't read yet. Ha ha ha. Fine. What if I give you my mail? Oh, this is surely Princess Zelda's handwriting. Well, let's see. Okay. This is Link. He is under my orders to save Hyrule. Kind of funny game is the princess come up with now. Okay, all right. You can go now. Just be careful, Mr. Hero. And with that, we are finally able to go to Death Mountain. But by the way, Mr. Hero, if you're going to climb Death Mountain, you should equip a proper shield. If you go back to Hyrule Castle Town Market, you should check out the bazaar. They sell the shield you need there. Tell them I sent you. They should give you a special discount. If you think you're good to go already, don't worry about it. I'd like to ask a favor of you. No, I don't expect you to do it just because I'm of the great tip I just gave you. I'm just asking. Have you been to the Happy Mask shop that just opened in Hyrule Castle Town Market? Everyone is talking about it. My little boy pesters me for a popular mask, but I don't have time to go there. So could you go and get the mask for me next time you're in the market? If you don't feel like it, that's okay. But, well, I have no choice. This is my job. All right. I don't know why you don't think I have a proper mask because I already can go turtle mode. But that is actually the second reason I suggested not buying the Hylian shield while we were in the castle town before. Because they will charge you full price before you talk to this guy. And now if you go buy it in the castle market, you can get it for, I think, a discounted price. But with all that being said, I think we're going to end this episode here. So I hope that everyone enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Next time, we head for Death Mountain. But until then, happy adventuring.